Welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, February 17th, 2017. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. With 52% of households here with broadband service as of December 2016, the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, the NTRC, is hoping for an increase in numbers. At the first of a series of consultations with the public on Thursday at the Methodist Church Hall, which was part of the unveiling of a 5-year draft National Broadband Plan for SVG, the NTRC Director, Apollo Knights, said that the United Nations has already declared the Internet as a human right. Knights said that it is critical to have broadband levels here elevate like other commodities, such as water, which in 2012 was some 77%, and electricity, which was at 90%.
48% of households don't have internet. And if one was to have 48% of households without electricity or water tomorrow morning, it will be considered a national disaster. Because that's usually what happens if we have hurricanes and so forth. And the government will do all kinds of things and the companies to get it back up to its regular levels. So this, in the context, is why we say we need a broadband plan at this time. We want to bring the internet penetration levels up to those of water and electricity. Right? And even at the international level, I think Mr. Kadam may speak more to that, but even the UN, I think in 2016, has designated broadband as a human right.
Meanwhile, Program Officer of the International Telecommunications Union, Sylvester Cadet, said that not only must broadband be reliable and affordable, but it should also be gender equivalent. He mentioned that most females throughout the world have limited access to broadband, but the United Nations has campaigned an International ICT Day for girls next month.
Certain level, then we must continue to smooth out all the different areas. The Americas is doing appreciably well, but there are still a number of areas that we need to have greater intervention, and therefore the ITU has what we call the International Girls in ICT Day, and it's always held on the fourth Thursday of every April. So you could look forward to that. So in conclusion, the ITU sees the need for significant improvement, especially when it comes to gender equality in broadband by 2020. And in that regard, we have looked at, the Broadband Commission has looked at new development as it relates to the SDGs. And of course, lastly, the ITU sees the rollout of broadband globally as a major transformative step towards socio-economic development of mankind.
Also advocating the need for broadband service to not only be reliable but also affordable, Executive Director of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Tony Regisford, said that this telecom gateway must also be adaptable to the needs of changing times.
It is really and truly a factor, because I mentioned competitive, being competitive, and also its reliability, and the growth beyond what we are not yet foreseeing. So how flexible are we going to be to adapt for future needs that we have not yet envisaged when we were formulating this plan?
Regisford, however, noted that while service providers gain revenue, they must not be inconsiderate to the spending pockets of consumers.
Providers, while we need them to make the investment, they need to talk about return on investment. You know, nothing is free. You're not going to take your money and throw it at something and consider it a grant. Mr. Hull and his company has shareholders who answer to, including me. I'm a shareholder in Cable and Wireless. So I too would like to know that the money invested gets good returns. So I think it's a balance. I think we have to move forward realistically, but at the same time, I believe that the providers must not be mercenary.
Describing the newly opened Argyle International Airport as a gateway to new opportunities, Chairman of the International Airport Development Company, the IADC, Dr. Rudy Matthias, says the government must be commended for building the $700 million Eastern Caribbean air facility at such an unreasonable cost. Dr. Matthias, who was speaking at the opening ceremony on Tuesday, also noted that the project could not be completed without the help of other countries and entities.
But we also needed much help from our friends. We simply couldn't bear the burden alone. So how much did it cost us to build this airport? I can tell you that because of the way we have built it, it has cost us far less than most people would expect. Few persons would believe that we have spent only EC dollars 700 million to build this entire facility. Not only that we constructed it, but we also retrofitted it, and we have bought all the ground handling equipment included in this EC 700 million. I think we deserve to applaud ourselves for the way we have managed our limited resources over the years.
Chairman of the Yagan International Airport, Garth Sanders, also had high praises for all involved in the overall establishment of the airport and reminded everyone that the air facility is a national project.
Those of you who oppose this project, consider that we didn't do it by ourselves. We did this with the help of the one above. This airport is his will. A lot of that, I know that a lot of the criticism has been leveled at the IADC over the years, but much of it I found to be unwarranted. I always told Rudy that a lot of the stress he felt was self-inflicted, because there's no engineer or project manager worth his salt who would expect a project of this enormous magnitude to be completed in 5, 6, or 7 years. We got the timelines wrong, but this country now has a facility of which we can all be justly proud.
The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Red Cross conducted a post-flood review meeting on Thursday at its headquarters. The symposium aimed to evaluate the response mechanisms at the community level before, during, and after the impact of the meteorological episodes between Tropical Storm Matthew and the trough system of November 28-29 of last year. President of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Red Cross Society, Bernard Morgan, outlined some of the specific objectives, such as reviewing the damage assessment process, reviewing relief assistance, as well as review early warning systems and the coordination mechanisms. Morgan said that getting feedback from Red Cross coordinators is essential to enhancing their effectiveness as a voluntary organization.
A very important outcome of today is for us to capture these presentations or these experiences from these people and to get some recommendations from them in terms of the way forward. And not just for the Red Cross, but we will share this information with NEMO at the national level. For example, on shelters. The people have issues, for example, from Sandy Bay, in how the shelter system operated there, if it met their needs, and whatever concerns they have there, we will pass them on. So that is a very important issue in terms of our meeting today.
The Red Cross president also highlighted the need for more attention to be given to the psychological impact that disasters may have on persons. He called for more support groups to be formed to help cushion the mental impact.
Element of the psychological impact of these disasters, it was not highlighted. We concentrated more on infrastructural damage, and that is fine. Social infrastructure, physical infrastructure, the immediate humanitarian, like some food and these kind of issues. But we seem to ignore the psychological effects. And these things stayed with the children and the people for a long, long time. And it played itself out in a lot of the behaviors that we are experiencing even now. So I am making a case here for us and the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Social Development and Education to pay greater attention to this issue of psychosocial support for the people in our communities after they were affected by a disaster. Specifically also, Sharon, I think what we have to do is to encourage our people to form community organizations to respond to disasters.
Several of the participants also expressed their satisfaction with the information coming out of the workshop and encouraged others to become members of the Red Cross.
Very helpful because they're persons say without any experience, and by other persons' experience talking, they get some knowledge from what they say.
And the Red Cross, how important is the Red Cross in that?
Very important because the Red Cross carry out a lot of training, for example, in first aid, in damage assessment, in shelter management. So once you get into these things, learn these things, in the event of any flood, any disaster, you're able to fit in once you're trained.
So you're definitely encouraging persons to join you?
Definitely. I'm encouraging persons from other districts, other communities to be a part of the Red Cross movement.
This project is very paramount to my community because my community, Georgetown, was affected from the flash floods and the trough system, and we have a lot of casualties. We have to relocate persons and things like that. And pending now where I am living, there is still landslide where the houses are still exposed, and because of that we need to train or to bring the persons in the community up to date, help them to realize the changing of the climate or whatever, so that they can really get themselves in gear to deal with situations like these.
Everybody can see what happened, pool their resources, they can be informed, and we can learn from each other.
Any encouragement for persons to join the Red Cross?
Of course. Each one should help one. Because today, it may be me. Tomorrow, it may be another person. And we are asking everyone, especially the young and able, to help to be a member of the Red Cross group. Because we are helping everyone.
The local livestock production is expected to receive a needed boost in capacity thanks to the close relationship this country has with the Kingdom of Morocco. That's according to Minister of Agriculture Saboto Caesar as he spoke at a handing over ceremony earlier this week where the Kingdom of Morocco donated a significant quantity of fertilizer to the government of SVG. Whilst thanking the Kingdom of Morocco for their kind gesture, Minister Caesar said the relationship will see a boost in production in the area of goat and cattle production.
I also want to note that in today's discussion, we have started the process for assistance in artificial insemination, which will bring significant benefits to our livestock producers, particularly in goat and cattle production. I want to really express heartfelt appreciation for this very important gesture, and I want to assure the people of the Kingdom of Morocco that as a nation we are going to put it to great use. Thank you very much.
Minister Caesar added that SVG will also benefit from training and technical assistance and thanked the Minister of Foreign Affairs for his hard work and dedication.
I also want to note that the cooperation and the benefits would not have taken place without the hard work and dedication of the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Commerce. And I want to thank the Honorable Minister and his team for doing hard and diligent work. Not only is the assistance being discussed around fertilizers, but we, over the weekend, received technical assistance and training in St. Lucia on a meeting which took place there, and we had to send a representative. And it's not the first time. We continue to send representatives from St. Vincent and the Grenadines to benefit from the excellent technology which we have been on the receiving end from government and people of the Kingdom of Morocco.
The Carnival Development Corporation, CDC, will tomorrow kick off the 40th anniversary celebration of Vincy Mass, fittingly dubbed All Stars. The event is scheduled to take place on the tarmac of the now-closed E.T. Joshua Airport, and according to the newly appointed CDC chairman, Ricardo Adams, the event is one of 4 pre-celebratory activities, which will see the climax of the much-anticipated 40th anniversary bash to be held in the coming months. Adams said that tomorrow's All-Stars event truly aims at marrying this nation's vintage soca music with the modern era of what people know today, all in their effort to reach out to the wider Vincentian society.
The All-Stars show really celebrates the early days, those who remember the Straker All-Stars, the Becketts, the Sosos, the rise of the initial soca artists. In order to do that, but still maintain touch with our modern era artists, we've also brought on board the show people like the Bomanis and the Luthers and the Chanels and even young Lil Chris. To pay tribute to people from that era. We're going to have Starlift here because we want to incorporate all of the components. We're going to have Mass here doing some displays of their costumes, and Starlift again would be doing music from that era. So that's the first decade of the 40 years. The second decade that we will get to in more detail as we approach it is going to be rejuvenation of Clash of the Bands. The third decade, we're going to partner with Union Island, Easterval, and celebrate the rising of the Roses crew, particularly Fireman, and partner with the Easterval committee down there, and that would be the third decade. And basically the fourth decade takes us into the launch of Vincimas, which is now our modern era. That's now our Hyper, our Chiwali.
When asked about the CDC's approach to host the early Carnival events, Adam stated that by doing so, he anticipates the momentum to be developed by Carnival lovers, stressing that the festival's 40th anniversary is something of great importance.
What we will do is keep building the awareness of our culture, of our roots, of our history in Vincimas, so that by the time we get down to the launch of Vincimas, we would have really been able to cover the 40 years and really rejuvenate in people the love for Vincimas. If you look around, it's a totally different venue, and we anticipate that there would be some excitement from that. But apart from that, we're going to have Soso, Beckett, Scorcher, Porsa, CP, Skakes, all from that era. We're going to start it off with Carnival is Here Again. I don't know if people would remember that song. And so that would be done by Black Messenger, of course. And then there are some fantastic artists from that era who unfortunately cannot be with us today. And so we're going to bring some younger artists on to do tributes to some of the people who are not here.
Speaking on the venue selected for tomorrow's event, the CDC chairman said it is all part of the CDC's approach to be innovative.
What we want to do this year is not do what we did on the 39th and 38th and 37th years. And this is an excellent opportunity for us to really show that we as a new CDC, we're willing to think outside the box. We're willing to embrace things that are different. And so we had the opportunity to, I tell people, I've been saying for a long time, I really would love, as old people say, first dibs on E.T. Joshua, and the opportunity came. And so it's going to be a different setting. We're going to have some more decoration, etc. The feedback we've got is that people are really excited. One, by the cast, because as I said, we've flown in Scorcher and so. In fact, E.B. John, if people remember E.B. John is going to be the MC tomorrow night. So that's again an added measure of respect for that era. And so we're hoping that the people who are coming for the cast are joined by the people who are coming because it's the excitement of having something on E.T. Joshua.
And with the AIA now in operation, the CDC chairman spoke on the endless opportunities for exposure on the international platform of SVG's Carnival product. However, he said at this time, their focus is on the exposure and development of local talent.
Would love to bring a lot of international entertainers, but one of the points that I was making to somebody this morning, if at 40 years we can't put together a show of pure Vincentian talent that is world class, then I'm not sure that we're working as hard as we can be. So I am going to try to focus as far as possible on putting together top-class Vincentian-based artists, top-class Vincentian-based pansides, top-class Vincentian-based bands, so that we also use the opportunity to expose to the international arena what St. Vincent and the Grenadines has to offer. If there may come a time where we need to supplement it with international artists. Yes, we'll certainly look at that. But for now, to the extent that we can promote Vinci culture, that is our primary responsibility.
Okay.
Paulina O'Gara of Richlands Park today walked away with the grand prize of a Honda CR-V, which she won in the RSVG Police Force annual raffle. O'Gara also received a year registration and insurance, whilst the second place prize of a Samsung Galaxy S6 went to Carlos John of Otley Hall, and the third place prize of a 32-inch television went to Hosina Stowe of Beckway. Speaking at the prize-giving ceremony at the police headquarters earlier today, Deputy Commissioner of Police Colin John thanked all those who participated in the raffle and encouraged the winners to make good use of their winnings.
Congratulate the winners and thank you for supporting the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force in their venture to raise funds for the cricket team of the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force. The Police Force look forward to the public for your support in more ways than one. One way is the raffle, which evidently you supported and you were a winner. I just want to congratulate you and ask that whatever your prices are, you make the best use of it. As regards Ms. O'Gara, I want you to take good care of the vehicle. Mr. John, I want you to utilize the phone in the most effective and efficient way.
Assistant Commissioner of Police Frankie Joseph thanked the public for their continued support with the raffle over the years, noting that it is designed to raise funds for the Forces Cricket Sports Club. He also gives some special encouragement to the grand prize winner.
So I want to take this opportunity to congratulate Ms. O'Gara for us on winning the CR-V. I hope that you are not the driver of the owner of a driver's license, but I hope that you take this opportunity to go and register with a tutor, get your driving license so you can drive the vehicle also. And I also want to congratulate Mr. John on winning the Samsung S6. Miss Snag, who won the third prize, is living in Beckway, and unfortunately she could not have made it up here to collect the prize, but we will make the necessary arrangement to get that to her. I want to express our sincere thanks to the general public, the support that they have given us, and we want to look forward for their support in years to come.
The top prize winners, Paulina O'Gara and Carlos John, expressed their excitement about their winnings.
Thank the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force for the opportunity that someone could win, and I'm happy that to know that I'm the winner of the vehicle. I just want to thank them so much.
I was a little disappointed at first that I didn't win the Jeep. When the police called me and asked me for one, if I bought a ticket, I already started to celebrate. Then he told me that I win the second prize. I was a little disappointed, but my phone I have right now isn't working good. So it coming just as good as if I win the Jeep. So let me just thank you all again, and I always support the police in all the raffle that they have. And one of these days I'll win the all first prize. Thanks again.